welcome back to the channel. So I've been over here cleaning the 88 Fiero and staring at this fine vehicle, and I got to thinking, I've had this thing 11 years this year, and I still have only driven it 10 miles, 15 miles maybe.
How neat is that?
It's been in this shop for 3 years now, 3 years now.
That's pretty neat.
And all I've managed to do is take part of it apart. That makes sense. So next year is the 40th anniversary Fiero show in Pontiac, Michigan. I would like to have this done for that. So I want to start working on it. I've purchased metal. This is the same size as the upper frame rails. And this is some sheet metal that is the same thickness as what the trunk corners are made out of. I mean, you can look at some of the other videos of this car and see how bad it is, but you can see these trunk corners are pretty well rusted out. So I've decided I'm gonna do is just the bad sections of the upper frame rail. So like here and here, I'm gonna cut this section out. I'm just gonna weld a piece of this in here. And then down here, you can see it's a little rusty here. Here's where it goes into a hole. So probably here, I'll cut it, and here I'll cut it. Make a piece that matches, weld that in. And then we'll make the trunk corners. Some of this other metal that's rusty here, I think we can just sand down into shiny, and then we can pour 15 the whole thing. Passenger side's the same way. I mean, that's gonna be easier than trying to replace the whole rear section of the car, because I still have to find one that's not at all rusty, which here in Michigan isn't gonna happen. And if it is gonna happen, you're tearing up a good car. And that way I can just get it done. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. The car's got 150 some thousand miles on it. I just wanna be able to use it. It'd be cool to get all 3 Fieros to the 40th anniversary show next year. And I've been sitting on parts for this thing for 10 years. We're gonna put this engine in it. This thing's got 50,000 miles. It came out of the wide body. We're gonna go through, we're gonna reseal this thing completely. I have a whole gasket kit for it. We're going to replace the fiber timing gear. I'm gonna do a video on that, freshening up that engine. But first, we gotta get this engine out. We're gonna use the air cleaner and valve cover off of this. It's also got a hooker header on it. I think we're gonna use that too. So, I'm thinking the order that we do this is we take the engine and subframe out of this in the next video. Then we can freshen up this engine, take the headers and stuff off the engine in the car, get this completely ready to go, clean the subframe, which actually isn't too bad. We're gonna put solid bushings in it. We're gonna replace the control arm bushings in the rear control arms. We have inner and outer tie rods for the rear. We have new rear wheel bearings. We have new struts for the rear. And we have new lower ball joints for the rear control arms. We'll get that all ready to go back in. Then we will do the rust repair back here. Then we will pour 15 the back half. We still have to get the roof skin off, the hood off, the fender off on both sides, and the front bumper off, just to see how bad the front end is. There's really not much rust in the front end. We are gonna check it. Then we'll pour 15 the front half of the car. We have parts for the front suspension. I got the shocks on it already, but I think I have new calipers, new wheel bearings, ball joints, tie rods, all that stuff. We'll get the front end set. We have some of the brake line kit left from the Fiero store. We're gonna install the rest of the brake lines on the chassis. I mean, this cart is full of parts for this car. And then once we get the chassis all ready to go, with the subframe with the freshened up engine, back in the car, finish up whatever suspension stuff needs to be done. Then we can get the wheels back on it. And then we can go through, I got the interior torn apart. I'm gonna take the rest of the interior out too. The interior is actually in pretty good shape. We have some warpage. We have these dash corners that are all beat to heck. But we have that Fiero store dash cover, which there's a video on if you look back through content. I'm not sure we're gonna put the whole cover on the dash or if we're just gonna use part of it. If we're just gonna try to repair these corners. We'll figure that out when we get there. But then we'll clean everything, put the interior back in, fix the issues with the interior. And then it's a usable car. We can put the body panels back on and take it how it looks. Or maybe I'll get brave and I'll try to paint it myself. Or maybe I'll pay somebody to paint it so it actually looks good. But we're keeping this stock as in how I got it, like the hooker header will go on it. But I really don't want to mod it. I just want this to be my stock Fiero, how it came out of the factory. I mean, after all, this is Indy Fiero number 64. It was a parade car number 4. So it'd be nice to keep it just a factory stock restoration. It's a Fiero. I don't know if it's ever really going to be worth anything, but I already have 2 modified ones with the wide body in the 88, so it'd be nice just to have a factory fresh. You know, this thing's automatic trans, air conditioning, cruise control. Just have it stock, have everything work, have it look good. So that's the plan with this. I know this is kind of a short video, but I have been thinking about this car quite a bit, and instead of buying more projects, I probably should finish the one that I already have. So we're gonna get on that. I got a lot of stuff left to take off of it, but like I said, the next video is going to be pulling the subframe with the engine and trans. We'll get that out of there, because then we can start working on frame repair. It's kind of hard to do it with the engine in there. So anyway, stick around if you want to see that stuff. Make sure you're subscribed. So we're gonna get this thing back on the road. I'm gonna show you that we can save a rusty Fiero. I've had a lot of people tell me just to scrap it or put the parts on another frame. And that's not really fixing the car. You know, they only made so many of these. How many have been parted out over the years? Why part out another one when I think we can fix it? So anyway, thanks for watching me ramble, because that's what I'm doing. Make sure you subscribe, and let's get to work on this thing.